Joe Biden, the Democrat candidate for president, refused to answer a legitimate question, and his reason was just stunning. Senator Ted Cruz blasts the media over its Supreme Court coverage. Plus, ABC News had an interesting collection of uncommitted voters at its town hall for President Trump. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start with Joe Biden because this guy is not ready to be president, folks. You've seen him at event after event. Sometimes he seems out of breath. He just seems out of it. His answers make no sense. Sometimes he just babbles. It doesn't look like he knows what's going on. And the media don't press him. They don't push him on this at all. Biden also holds press statements rather than press conferences. He gives a statement, he walks away, doesn't take questions. This week, he was actually asked a question by a local reporter, said the question was legitimate, but then refused to answer. And his reason was just mind-blowing. So here's the basis. Here's the background. The Democrats, the media, they're freaking out because President Trump gets a chance to put a third person on the Supreme Court. They are just going absolutely ballistic. They are threatening that if the Democrats gain control of the Senate, they're going to pack the court. They're going to expand it from 9 to some other number and just stuff it with liberals. That's what they're doing. Here's Democrat Senator Ed Markey. Mitch McConnell set the precedent. No Supreme Court vacancies filled in an election year. If he violates it, when Democrats control the Senate in the next Congress, we must abolish the filibuster and expand the Supreme Court. Are you kidding me? First of all, Mitch McConnell didn't set any precedent, and we'll get into that. Second, basically what he's saying is we can't win like this. We can't win by these rules, by playing by the rules, fair and square. So we're actually going to change things. We are going to change the Supreme Court. That's what he's saying. Then there's House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler. He tweeted this. If Senator McConnell and Senate GOP were to force through a nominee during the lame duck session before a new Senate and president can take office, then the incoming Senate should immediately move to expand the Supreme Court. See, this is what the Democrats are talking about. This is the issue. This is what they're trying to do. Change the rules, change the makeup of the Supreme Court by bypassing the presidential nomination process, the Constitution, and expanding it, packing it with liberals so they can get more people in. So, because this issue is on the table, it seems like a legitimate question to ask Joe Biden. He's running for president. This is what's happening here and now. But you can forget about the national media. Forget about them. They have thrown professionalism and journalism into the trash can. It's gone. They are in the tank for Joe Biden. It might as well be Pravda from the Soviet Union. They're so far left, and they won't ask the real questions. They are cheerleading for Joe Biden and attacking President Trump whenever they can. But what about a local reporter? Biden was traveling, he was giving a rally, and a local reporter actually got to talk to him. And here's the lead-in to her segment.
Vice President Joe Biden says that he won't announce his picks for a Supreme Court justice until after the election. We found out today that President Trump is planning to name his nominee by the end of the week.
So I want to stop there for just a second because Joe Biden said that he will not release his names, his picks for future Supreme Court nominees until after the election. How is that okay, folks? How is that okay? Why aren't the media questioning him on this? I mean, President Trump, that was one of the main things that he did in 2016 is to say to conservatives, hey, you might not know my background. You may not know what you think about me. Here's who I'm going to nominate from this list. And it was just stunning. We knew exactly what we were getting, and he has delivered every single time. Joe Biden won't even tell us. And that's supposed to be okay? How can journalists not ask him these tough questions? It's just bizarre. And here's more from the reporter.
I asked Biden a hypothetical question. If he's elected president and Democrats gain control of the Senate, would he consider adding more seats to the Supreme Court?
Okay, that's a decent question. What would Joe Biden do? Markey and Nadler and all these far lefties are talking about packing the court. Would Joe Biden do that? Or what's his response to what they're saying? Does he agree with that? It's a legitimate question. And here's Joe Biden's answer.
It's a legitimate question, but let me tell you, I'm not going to answer that question because it will shift all the focus. That's what he wants. He never wants to talk about the issue at hand. He always tries to change the subject.
It's a legitimate question, but I'm not going to answer it. What? Are you kidding me? How is this okay? First of all, he says, this is President Trump pushing this. This has nothing to do with President Trump. This is a reporter asking a question. And Biden says he doesn't want to change things from the issue at hand. This is an issue that's at hand. A Supreme Court vacancy. President Trump is moving forward. The Senate is moving forward. Democrats don't like it. What is your response? What's your comment to that? It is an issue at hand, not being asked to you by the president, by President Trump, but by a reporter. Answer the question. It's unreal, that response. And here's more from Biden.
Well, let's say I answered that question. Then the whole debate's going to be, well, Biden said or didn't say. Biden said he would or wouldn't.
This is unreal. President Trump has to answer questions all the time. What would Biden do? Would he do something or not do it? Did he say something or not say it? This is what candidates for president of the United States are supposed to answer. But he says, I'm not even going to tell you my judicial nominees until later, after you elect me. I'm not going to answer this legitimate question because you might talk about my response. You might talk about my answer. That's what people do. That's why you're asked questions so we can get the answer and talk about it. Do we agree with that or do we not? But he's not going to answer it because we'll talk about his response. This is unbelievable. And it's just so fake. And it also reveals that Biden has no convictions whatsoever. Here's Biden talking about court packing, actually answering the question, giving his opinion about it when FDR tried to do it.
But it was a bonehead idea. It was a terrible, terrible mistake to make, and it put in question, for an entire decade, the independence of the most significant body, including the Congress, in my view, the most significant body in this country, the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
All right, come on, media. There you have Joe Biden saying how stupid court packing is, how bad of an idea it is, and now he won't even answer the question. Do your jobs. Ask him about this. It's absolutely unreal. The national media won't ask him questions, and when this reporter gets to him and asks him a legitimate question, his response is, I won't answer because you'll talk about it. You'll talk about my answer. That is mind-blowing, and the national media should be all over that, but they don't ask the questions. So next, I want to move on to Senator Cruz and his response to the media. But first, if you're new to the show or haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified. We're making our push for 100,000 subscribers by Election Day, 100K by Election Day, and we can do it with your help. All right, very few leaders out there go after the media. One of the reasons I supported President Trump from the beginning is because he does. The other person I supported was Senator Ted Cruz, and he was out there blasting CBS because the media, they want to focus on the Republicans, that the Republicans felt one way about moving on a nomination in 2016 and a different way in 2020. Like they're the only ones who flip-flopped on this issue. So leading up to talking to Senator Cruz, CBS ran a montage, an intro piece, talking and showing Republicans making comments in 2016 how they were not going to move on Barack Obama's nomination, but now they are. And one of those was Ted Cruz. He came on the program and was asked, oh, so your opinion has changed? You don't feel like that anymore? And here's his response.
Every single political player has switched positions. I looked at your clip of politicians from 2016. You know who you didn't play? Joe Biden. You didn't play Hillary Clinton. You didn't play Nancy Pelosi. You didn't play Chuck Schumer. Why? Because every one of them is saying exactly the opposite of what they're saying now.
I love that. I love that response from Senator Cruz. Call us all hypocrites if you want, because everyone has changed their opinion. The problem with it, the thing that is driving the Democrats and the media crazy are in 2016 and 2020, the Democrats are on the losing side of precedent, of history, of the politics. They're just on the losing side. And I went over this on Monday. There have been 29 times when there's been a vacancy in election year. 19 of those 29 are the situation we have now, where the president and the Senate are of the same party, and almost every time, 17 out of 19, the nomination has gone through in this timeline, either before the election or in the lame duck session. 17 out of 19. That's how it is, folks. That's how it works. The other 10, when the party is different from the presidency and the Senate, it doesn't get moved on. The last time it got moved on was in the 1880s. So what happened in 2016 is historically accurate, historically the way things have gone, nothing different. And in 2020, nothing different than what's happened in the past. So this whole idea that Republicans are somehow doing things different and not following history, setting bad precedent, is absolutely 100% not true. It's just the Democrats and the media crying. And they're doing all sorts of things. Nancy Pelosi is calling about possible impeachment. Impeachment for what? For following the Constitution? Kayleigh McEnany at the White House press conference blasted Pelosi and some others for pushing this.
AOC said that impeachment is an option, quote, on the table, while Chuck Schumer stood by, nodding approvingly. The plan of House Democrats is so rabidly radical that even Democrat Senator Tim Kaine has rebuked the idea, calling the idea of using impeachment to delay a Supreme Court vote, quote, foolish.
All right, so that's the media, that's the Democrats freaking out about President Trump having this ability, this opportunity to get a third justice on the Supreme Court. They are in an absolute meltdown, talking about impeachment, talking about court packing, and President Trump, Kayleigh McEnany, they're the only ones that get the serious questions. Joe Biden gets a pass. And speaking of that, I want to tell you about next the town hall that ABC held for President Trump, because Joe Biden had one and it was blasted on social media. Softball questions. Everyone is asking is already a Democrat supporter, basically. And it was just so easy. Then you contrast that with the ABC News, where President Trump had a much tougher time. Well, take a look at this collection of the so-called uncommitted voters that ABC highlighted. ABC News' recent town hall debate that billed its participants as uncommitted voters included voters who called President Trump an effing moron, a punk blank, a swine, a villain prior to the event. A sampling from the Twitter feeds of Kutztown University professor Elisa Black and Pastor Carl Day includes a slew of disparaging remarks toward the president and, in one case, a vow to be there volunteering for Senator Kamala Harris prior to her primary campaign's end. Mr. Day asked the president about income inequality during his appearance with ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos, while Ms. Black asked if changes to Obamacare will affect her since she has a disease called sarcoidosis. So, that's ABC News, and it's like, wow, these are the uncommitted voters? Who are the ones that are actually Joe Biden supporters? BLM? Full-blown Antifa? I mean, it's outrageous, and here's more. The Washington Free Beacon noted Monday that Mr. Day wrote, "I never once supported President Trump and won't now," in August. An ABC spokesperson said that the voters all identified to the network as uncommitted, the website reported. The spokesperson would not say whether the network took any time to verify those claims, nor did he answer questions about the selection process. Journalism is dead, folks. Journalism absolutely dead. These virulent anti-Trump people are listed as uncommitted. They'd say, F Trump, we're going to get you. You're a villain. You're a swine. And they're listed as uncommitted. How much effort does it take to just do a scan of the people that are going to be in your town hall? Do a scan of their Facebook posts, their tweets. I mean, give me a break. That's just basic research. And these people won't do it because they know what's going on. They know what's happening at their town halls, and it's all to get President Trump, just like it's all to make Joe Biden look good. Journalism is dead, and it's really, really sad. So next, I want to talk about what's going on at a Florida high school, because they just banned their football team from coming out onto the field with the thin blue line pro-police flag that they've been doing for over a year. And why? Because now, suddenly, it's racist. And here's the story. A thin blue line flag has been banned by a local high school in Neptune Beach, Florida, following a series of complaints that circulate on social media, according to a report by News4 Jax. According to the outlet, the Fletcher High School football team started carrying the pro-law enforcement flag last year as a way for one of its players, Kalen Lavender, to honor his late father, Andy Lavender. Mr. Lavender was a Jacksonville Beach police officer who unexpectedly passed away in August 2019 after 29 years in law enforcement and was active in sports programs. Wow. So this was a gesture to honor a student's late father. That's why they were doing it. It's a pro-police symbol, a pro-police sign, just like waving signs back the blue. This is one way folks do it. They were doing it for over a year, but now all of a sudden, some are complaining that it's racist. And here's more. As a result of the backlash, Fletcher High School's principal, Dean Ledford, reportedly issued a statement announcing the flag would be banned. The flag has different meaning for different people, and rather than representing the young man's personal feelings, it was being interpreted as a political statement of the team and of the school, Ledford said. In consultation with the coaches, I determined that the act of using this flag in this personal way, while in the context of a football game opening ceremony, could easily be construed as representing a political position. Oh my gosh. How about if this guy actually educates the students and educates the family that this is not a political statement? Being pro-police is not political. Black Lives Matter is allowed all over the place. You see teachers with signs on it. You see gear. You see hats. And that is overtly political. They are avowed Marxists. They are anti-family. They say it on their website, but it's allowed. And this isn't, because it's a political statement. So we know right there that it's bogus. They're just caving in to the BLM pressure, and it is sad to see. Folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified, and we'll see you next time. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified. And here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.